So with franchising, you're dealing kind of with the relationship of franchisor franchisee as you're trying to figure things out, decide if you like certain franchises. It can almost be like dating. So you're kind of that matchmaker. So tell us a little bit more about what you do, how you lead individuals through the process, and kind of how you matchmake them together and how they work through that anticipation of, do I like this franchise? Do I not? Do they like me? How does that all work?
Yes, it can be kind of like The Bachelor, and there's a final rose. There's no rose ceremony, though.
No? Oh, there should be. You should add that.
So, it can be, when someone is just first starting to think about this and start looking at it, it can be extremely overwhelming. Like I said, there's 3,800 possibilities, and you go out on the internet and they all say they're the best one. So a methodical process, it actually doesn't start with any one industry or category. It really starts with the person. And I think whether someone's getting help from a broker like myself, or they're doing this on their own, the first step is to take a real self-inventory, first of all, of your skills, your talents, what you're good at. When you envision yourself running a business, what do you envision yourself actually doing? Is it leading employees? Is it sales? Is it project management? So kind of giving some thought to skills that you have that you believe could transfer into running a business. Think about that. It's important to do a financial inventory, getting a real handle on what is your family's cost of living, where are your assets, updating a personal balance sheet for not only going to the bank and the financing reasons, but the franchise is looking at that too.
Yeah.
A good franchise really wants to carefully qualify any candidate to make sure that they're poised to succeed in their business. The last thing any brand or anybody wants is to come into this undercapitalized. So good brands are really looking at that. And then what is your time availability? Like we talked about, it's not passive. So is this something that you see yourself stepping into full-time day one? Can you afford that? Can you afford to do that? If this is a side gig, again, do you have the capital to hire a general manager? Do you have the capital to sustain the added overhead by doing this semi-actively, as we might say? So these are the sort of questions that I am asking of people up front, and we're building kind of a model or a criteria list of what elements need to exist in any business for it to be a possibility. And then that serves as the compass for what kinds of businesses that I'm going to recommend to people. Like if someone's like, I'm only going to do this part-time, there are certain franchises that immediately come off the table because they cannot be started and operated part-time. If most people are a geographic specific candidate. They don't want to drive 2 hours to this business. They want something that is reasonably close to where they live or where they want to be. So that is also a filter for what a person's options are going to be. If the closest open territory for your franchise of choice is 300 miles away, that's really not going to help you. So these are the sort of things that someone like myself knows what to ask. I know what the different variables are that people have to look at and what they have to look at together. And it's got all these pieces of a puzzle have to all fit together in order for an opportunity to be the right one. So that's how I am helping people to lay the groundwork so we know what to look for. And then when we go look for it, we know that it's going to check these boxes up front.